Welcome to F Your Feelings, the greatest podcast that ever exists. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all that, man. We got a phenomenal episode today. We got Courtney Haynes.
Hey,
Just met her a week ago. We got Dave Helem.
What's up, man?
Oh, sexy voice. And we got Sean Connor.
What's up, y'all?
Man, what's happening, man? Pull yours a little closer, Sean.
I got you.
Man, how y'all doing, man? Y'all pulled up for me.
Man,
Yeah.
we are out here in Seattle.
Right.
That's what LA feels
Swimming.
like, bro. Like,
What's up with the rain out here, bro?
There's some hella bullshit.
I was telling my homeboy Lee, I was like, it's never rained this much in LA since I've been out. I'm going on 16 years being out here. Never rained this much. I can't remember. How long you been out here, Dave?
I've been out here 6 years, man. So this is definitely my rainiest season out here. But you know what that means, though. Like, Jesus coming back soon.
Hey, man, shout out to Jesus.
It's the end times.
the ark is getting repaired.
What would y'all do if Jesus came back, though? Y'all think y'all going to heaven? What y'all think?
I think I go to heaven. He know my heart.
I think most women will go to heaven.
I pull that. Nah, like in the Bible, it say like he gonna sound the trumpet. Anytime I wake up with a weird noise, I'm like, is that the trumpet? I'm like, you know my heart.
Right.
I wake up scared.
Like, nah, that's just outcast.
What you think, Dave?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it for real. Like, I don't want to be too like arrogant. Like, yeah, I'm going. But then I think about all the bullshit I done done, and then I think about the time I gave homeless people money.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I might make it.
I gave a homeless person money once. It was only one time. He fucked it up for all other homeless people. Y'all know Church's Chicken?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so I'm from Florida, right? We at church. I'm outside of churches, and he come up to me. He was like, "I'm hungry, brother. Can you spare some money?" I said, "Yeah, dog. I got you." I give him some money, right? Mm-hmm. He goes inside. I gave him maybe like $5. This is like broke Justin. This is $5 means a lot. This $5 mean a lot. I'm probably working at the grocery store at this time. You know, this is high school. I'm probably like 17 years old or something. And I'm like, yeah, man, I got you. I give him the $5. He goes into churches. You know how they give you free cups of water? You know how you can ask for a cup of water? He get a free cup of water and then leave.
Oh, damn. That was for crack.
That was for
and the water was for the after crack.
To wash down the crack. That's exactly correct. I said, oh, you fucked it up. So now when I see homeless people, I step over them. No. But I'm like, he fucked it up.
He was crowdsourcing.
So I assumed, just like Dave said, I assumed he went and purchased crack cocaine.
Damn, we sound like
the worst of the worst.
Sound like Republicans right now.
I mean,
Exactly.
I feel
you
that
know
way
what it
in
means
LA.
when you pull up to a churches.
I feel that way in LA. I at least want to give my money to somebody who's like coherent. I hate when I give it to them, they like walk off. I'm like, oh damn it, they not gonna use that for nothing productive.
yeah, man. I seen I used to have a bit about it. Ron G always tell me I need to bring it back. I used to have a bit about it. I seen a homeless dude fighting with his imaginary friend. And so, like, he was cussing out his imaginary friend. But then I would do an act. I'm like, fuck you, nigga. Fuck you. I'm like, nigga, shut up. And then, like, and then I stopped doing the bit because this is the response I got from the crowd.
I mean, it's such a sensitive thing nowadays where it's like, people like, you can't joke about mental health. And all. I'm like, man, shut up. Let me just do some inappropriate shit on stage and let me live my life, okay?
How you feel about that, though? Like, how sensitive people are? Do you feel like it's the crowds that's sensitive, or do you think it's people that's like just like the pundits that's sensitive?
You know, Chris dropped his special last Saturday, Chris Rock, right? And people are just, I mean, the name of the special was Selective Outrage.
Right.
I just feel like I was reading the comments about him punching down towards black women and whatever you feel about that, the rest of the special to me was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, the first 50 minutes of it I really enjoyed, right? And then I've just been talking to people who are not comedians. And they just like, nah, fuck that nigga, like blah, blah, blah. So I don't even think that people listen to like the content anymore, honestly. I think it's just more about like, this is off limits. And if you break this etiquette code in terms of what you're talking about, I can't even hear the jokes.
Etiquette code. That's some real shit, bro.
Yeah.
We got to stop that shit. Well, that's why I named this podcast Fuck Your Feelings.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly why, because I'm like, as comedians, we got to have like the freedom in the space to be able to say what we're thinking. You know what I'm saying? Without people could there's always repercussions, right? But we still got to have that space and freedom to be like, yo, this is how I feel. This is what I think is funny. And I think that's what's always missing is comedians at the end of the day, they're trying to get a laugh. No matter what crazy shit they're saying, the foundation, I believe, is they're still trying to get a laugh. Now, if it gets a laugh is a whole nother story, you know, but that's the attempt. What you thinking, Dave?
That art is dying. Honestly,
Did y'all notice it being like any differences with it being like live on Netflix and like versus like watching a tape special?
Oh, hell
Did
yeah.
you like notice him have to get into his groove a little bit?
Oh yeah, I saw him kind of get in and out of the pocket a little bit, and I saw, you know, there's a certain point where I watched in the special that he lost the crowd a little bit, but he got it right back because that was, you know, right before the final eight. I like to call it the final eight, right, when he really go in on the Smiths.
Oh, I didn't know they was talking about like it was the final four. The
It
final
was
eight.
like, you know what I'm saying? I just call it the final eight. The final 8 minutes, you know what I'm saying, of the special. But you know, he picked it immediately back up with that. But that's just natural. That's raw stand-up comedy, and people needed to see that. And you know, for you know, people again, you know, being judgmental about not only with the context of it, but you know how he was in and out of his groove and how it was like, oh, it wasn't good, whatever you want to say. You don't realize the amount of not only energy, the thought, you know, that is going in, the strategy that's going behind every word, and the difficulty to not only do it in a live special, unedited, uncut. They didn't even cut the shit that they taped afterwards. He fucked up on the concussion joke. They still kept it on Netflix and said, "We fuck it. This is what it is."
That was amazing.
And that was that was amazing to see that. And people don't realize like how raw comedy is, and they get used to this whole like comedy with a filter on social media. Even when I say filter, I mean, you know, like the bad bitch filter, you know, fuck away all the flaws. And
I use it every Thursday.
every Thursday, just Thursday.
It also made you turn in. Like, you know, people drop specials all the time on Netflix, and it's like, okay, and like it's so much saturated comedy, but you like, this is a live event. You like, let me get my popcorn, my drink, get ready. Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Like this is starting. Like that was dope to experience.
It reminded me of like old like HBO and specials. You know, when Chris Rock dropped Bigger and Blacker.
Yeah.
You know, you had to go to the cable office, get your cable box sometimes. You know what I'm saying? To get it and plan for it and make sure everybody came over to watch it. It reminded me of that, and it's kind of ingenious even more and further to think about. You know, he took us in a modern day back to when he was doing this shit in HBO a long time ago.
Yeah, y'all think him doing live? So y'all like that it was live? Y'all think that was a good idea?
I just got goosebumps right now thinking about that feeling of nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you had to be somewhere to watch a program. Like we just don't have that no more.
Yeah, program TV,
You can just stream everything now.
appointment TV. My bad. Yeah.
So it just gave you a level of like, let me do what I got to do. So I'm home at this time. I just haven't felt that in probably years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I purposely did not book any shows that night. That Saturday, I had it marked on my calendar. Like, that was my show that I was going to. So I purposely didn't get booked at any other club that night. I didn't send my avails for that Saturday.
It felt like you were watching a fight. You know how you watch like with Tyson or Roy Jones Jr. is fighting somebody. He's like, I'm gonna be home to watch the fight tonight, and that's just like my neighbors came over.
Yeah.
And we watched it together. Like it was dope.
Me and my
That's
neighbors don't speak to each other. You have a nice community, obviously.
I had to go on Twitter to find community. I was like, I'm not inviting these people over.
I thought about it. I was like, should I invite people over? I'm such an introvert. I was like, should I invite people? I was like, nah, fuck it. And then I just watched it by myself. But it was good, man. I thought it was great. I felt the same way. I felt like he did need that. He needed to like settle. Once he settled into, you know, that pocket, you know, in the beginning, I felt like that's when he started to really hit. And yeah, I did see him kind of lose the crowd a little bit, but he got him back, you know. But I mean, did y'all watch Marlon Wayne's special? I don't hear nobody.
I haven't
I
watched
only
it
seen
yet.
clips.
Now,
I
why y'all
only seen
niggas
the
ain't
clips.
watching Marlon shit? Well,
No.
what's up with this?
Love Marlon. Love Marlon. Listen.
What's up with this? It's phenomenal. I thought it was phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah, but y'all haven't seen it
No,
No,
the
not
only
yet.
thing that I heard about it was that he talked a lot about the slap
the whole time.
and he wasn't involved in the slap. So
When you say the whole time, you mean
The whole special.
How long was it?
It's an hour.
Okay.
He had a lot on his heart.
Yeah.
This is why he speaks on it. First of all, okay. I just heard Marlon say in an interview how his brothers told him not to put out specials too soon. Because he put out 2 specials prior. Marlon said this on the interview. Like, his brothers was like, yo, you haven't been doing stand-up long enough to be putting out specials. Marlon said, no, I'm going to put them out because I want to see my growth as a comedian. So that's why he's been putting out specials every 2 years, right? However, this special he just put out is his funniest special. He kills, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. It's his best work to date. Mm-hmm. And he even said, even his brothers was like, yo, this is your best shit, right? But I'm kind of wondering if people haven't been checking in for it because they weren't impressed by the first 2 that he put out. And I don't know if maybe that slowed up people rushing to see his third one. But I don't know, though. But I thought the third one is phenomenal. Like, when I'm talking like laugh out, I was like laughing out loud watching this shit. So why y'all niggas ain't watched it? It's Marlon Wayans.
I get it.
I think I was booked that day.
Tonight
it's on the tonight. Look, this weekend we all got a homework assignment. Group text, watch it, and be like, Justin, we fulfilled our responsibilities.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I heard there was a lot about the slap and the fact that he was not necessarily directly involved in it. That was not necessarily like something that was appealing to me. But if you say that it's funny, and I will trust that, and because I had nothing against him. I've met him for several times. He's a nice dude. It's just so much content to watch out there, stand up wise. That you know.
What if it was live? Would you have watched it?
Yeah, I probably would have.
You probably.
You're gonna see a lot more live specials now. Watch.
I think so too.
To the content point, I think Marlon has so much content out. I think Chris Rock is a lot more like his stuff comes out more sparse. To where Marlon's like, all right, he's got this movie, he's got this show, he's got this special. It's like, all right, I done watched the movie, I done supported the show. I'll catch this when I'm chilling one night with a little side thing or whatever. But like, it's not like I'm gonna rush to it. It's not. Oh, like
you got some side things, dude.
Right. No. And wait, why does the Marlon special have to be a side chick activity?
Yeah, why can't it be a main chick activity? Right. Put them off with your side bitches.
Nah, cause I got main chick shows. That's not a main chick show. That's a.
Oh no.
I'm not trying to expose myself, but I'm just saying that I don't think Marlon is a more like we can quickly bond on this and we can have a inside joke. We can have a memory. We don't gotta watch a few episodes to get it.
That's a damn good point about the content part. I mean, Marlon, I know he dropped the special that we put on like his homies with Esau,
the headliners,
which is dope, But it's just a lot. It's like rap. It's like people who drop all the time, like Currency, Logic, and that's cool. But when you know that Jay's gonna drop, he dropped 444 out of nowhere. He was like, "Oh shit, I gotta hear this shit," even though you might have not give a fuck about nothing.
Right.
But, like I need to listen to this because when's the last time he dropped something?
I love that album too. Scarcity. You have to create scarcity, right? Yeah. That's what you're getting to, Dave.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like we just, and this goes with artists all the time with comics in terms of like flooding. People say you got to put content out. You got to put content. You got to create reels and video. I'm like, do you really?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you specifically about that because you don't do that, do you?
I try not to. No. Like I try to. First of all, I think that I'm a very not a perfectionist, but in terms of like what I put out, I just want it to be really good. I'm very sensitive in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to put out something that's going to be attacked. So maybe it's not something I'm doing because I want to be great. It's just more for insecurity. I don't know, but I have an issue with just putting out stuff that I don't love, right? Mm-hmm. So, I'm just what I believe in, honestly. So,
yeah. How y'all feel about that? Y'all be putting out content?
Sporadically, not consistently. I kind of teeter this opinion of not wanting to get down into this lane of being a social media comedian. I want people to know.
Speak on it.
That I am a stand-up comedian, and you can do both. Like you can definitely do both.
I almost feel like they damn near go hand in hand nowadays.
That is true.
It's not completely. There's always there's always somebody that breaks through that don't have to, like a Gerard Carmichael. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying you have to do social media. But there's a large part that it's like, damn, like, because these clubs, they be caring about numbers. It's either you got to get on a popping TV show or you got to have some numbers. Yeah. Or you got to fucking blow, like, really stand out in the movie. Like on some Michael Blackson shit in Next Friday. Something that's really going to help take your career to the next level.
Because we all funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, the funny don't sell tickets.
The funny don't sell tickets, bro. And that's, you know, so even me, you know, it's like, I done been on shit, but it's like, oh, your social media numbers ain't what it need to be. You see what I'm saying? So even then, that still is like, if they got to choose between me or Desi Banks for the weekend.
Drewski.
Or Drewski, they're going with Drewski. They not picking, and I respect it. They selling more tickets.
That's why I was saying earlier that our art is dying.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't mean to be like this old dinosaur. I'm better than you as a stand-up. But I really believe that that's my art. That's what I love to do. And that is going away. People are taking away its power, saying, you can't say that. You can't say those words. That's fucked up. You need to evolve with the times. And I'm like, Dave's audience, when I say Dave, I mean Dave Chappelle, is going to be there for him no matter where he's at. And I kind of feel like that's kind of what I want. Like, if you fuck with me, you fuck with me. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm the Kid Rock of comedy.
I fuck with
it. I would never call myself that, but I'm saying, like...
Oh, that's going to be a clip. And this is where the music kicks in.
On the artist side, though, I'm, like, thankful for, like, things like Apple Music, where I can go back and listen to old comedy albums and hear, like, people's jokes kind of grow. And I appreciate that in some of the comedians I see today. Like, I may see Justin set one time and it's like this, and then, like, 3 months from now, it's like this. And I'm like, oh, damn, I saw the beginning of that, and I appreciate that. I guess that's, like, a peek behind the curtain, but...
You probably see me the most out of any comedian because you host at the Chateau. So you see me fucking all the time because I'm always there. Tell me how great I am. No, I'm joking. Hey, so
I will. I'll give you your flowers real quick. I appreciate you coming to that show because it's like, I equate it to like, that club is like the G League and you're like an NBA player. or maybe like the Drew League. You know how when the NBA players come to the Drew League, they instantly get their jersey, everybody gives them the shots, and it's just like, but you know, I appreciate that because it takes the show to another level, and it allows the audience to be like, oh, we are here to see something, and it makes my job so much easier hosting.
I appreciate that. Hey, so thank you. I didn't know you was gonna say that. I was just talking shit, but I appreciate that. So this is something that I was thinking though. When it comes to y'all putting out content, right? How closely are you attached to the results versus just putting out something that you're proud of? And what's your thoughts on that?
So first and foremost, like when I put out something, I want it to be the best representation of what I have at that time. So first, I want it to be, you know, what I feel to be on brand for me, what is a representation of what I can do and whatever I'm trying to get across. And if the numbers come, the numbers come. I ain't gonna front like I ain't deleted a reel after 5 minutes, and that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 likes after 5 minutes. Yeah. Oh, this ain't gonna be good.
This ain't hitting no shit.
This ain't hitting no shit. Right. Save. But at the end of the day, I also think about it too when I look at, you know, a lot of people what is it, Melissa
Villaseñor?
Villaseñor, and other people who you know weren't she was a content creator, but.
From SNL?
From SNL. So she had some old posts. I went back on her Instagram. But anyway, but like when you see, it kind of doesn't matter whenever you hit, whatever you did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, people are going to go back and watch that. So maybe you don't get the appreciation you...
Losers.
Listen.
They got shit else to do with their day. I mean, but I'm listening.
I call it research. Okay?
Yeah. It's true, though. It's true.
But seriously, people go back and they watch it, you know, because I like to understand someone's journey, right? I like to look at people and understand where their journey was. And not that I'm comparing myself to other people, but to understand, like, okay, what was the formula? What did they do? What happened? Where were they at? Because it just proves to you wherever you feel that you're at right now, you know, next week, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, you can be in a completely different place. So the content, when it does live, if it stays on my page, you know, the numbers now, yes, are important with an asterisk, but really people are going to look back and be able to see what you did. It was like, oh shit, she's been funny for a long time. Oh, she was goofy then. And so that's kind of what I look at. Yeah. So yes and no to answer your question.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun, honestly. Like I'm too lazy to put the work in. Like honestly, like I just want to have a good time. So I'm gonna invite my friends. We gonna get drunk and we just gonna talk, and that's gonna be the podcast. So right. And that feel like that's the art of it. And if it don't work, I'll just write on another TV show and make money somewhere else and not worry about having a following. And because I'm not going to, I'm not going to put the work in, man. I've had podcasts in the past. I had one with Thelonious Monk. I had one with my boy Eli Hamilton. And what I realized is that sometimes people listen, sometimes they don't. I just don't want to be a slave to having to find a following that way. You know, I'm gonna shoot my shot in a different way, and then I'll come back to it because I feel like people are not gonna give a fuck until a certain point anyway. And whatever that may be, whether it's a movie that I write, a movie I star in, something like that, then they don't come back to the podcast like, oh, this nigga got a podcast, you know that? You know what I'm saying? But you'll go crazy trying to. I was just talking to a comic last night at the Comedy Store. I saw one of his posts, and it was just about his mental health is not right, and because we put so much validation into like me being on to me being happy, right? And if you allow this industry to dictate how you feel based upon whether people are watching you or listening to what you're saying, you will go fucking insane.
Yeah, I'm with you. You have any thoughts, Sean?
I mean, I think that
Sean sitting over there with a dial tone going off in his head.
No. I think what you said to like the art is important, but like that journey is important. Like when it does finally hit, because I mean, most of my content online is animation, so it's like it takes so much more time to put out, and it's like posting a video every day. I could do it, but it wouldn't have the quality because I want to take my time and go through it 100 times. So like. With the animation, I wish people could see behind that curtain or knew what it take that like somebody who made Family Guy or Rick and Morty or The Simpsons, it took them 5-10 years to make the pilot. So they'd be like, where's that pilot at? And I'd be like, what the hell, motherfucker? You don't even know how long it takes to make a pilot. So like, I wish people did care about that when it comes to artists, but I guess they don't got to give a fuck about that.
No, but I just
once they do give a fuck, I'll be like, all right, word, you give a fuck now.
You ever record your behind the scenes? Like you actually drawing stuff or animating stuff?
Yeah, but even putting that out, it's just like sketches. I'd rather people just see a finished product.
Okay. Because I was thinking, like me particularly, like they did like a South Park documentary a long time ago or whatever, but I'm somebody that I would be interested, even if it was, you know how like they speed up stuff, like they just set the camera up and did it time lapse type thing. That's something that I would find like interesting, you know, just to be like, damn, that's what's up. Like it started with a blank piece of paper or a blank screen, and now this is the finished product by the end of the reel. You know what I'm saying? But I was just throwing that out.
Yeah, I definitely get what you mean.
But you know, it's so funny. You said something, Dave, earlier that made me think of this. Is I don't do sketches. I started out doing sketches on YouTube super early, like 2009, 2010. I was putting out sketches, and they was hitting. They was getting on World Star and all that stuff, right? And I stopped doing this so I could focus on the acting. When MacGyver ended, you know, I made a purposeful choice to not do sketches because I didn't want to water down people seeing my comedic acting. Because I felt like if people are always seeing my comedic acting, when I do get my Martin type show or my Insecure type show or my whatever the fuck, they're going to be so accustomed. They're going to be like, oh, we already know his tricks because we've already seen it all the time on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So I choose not to do that. So the only sketches I do now is with my daughter. Like, you know, if my daughter wanted, and those are her ideas, I help her bring them to life. But she'll be like, Dad, I want to do a sketch about this. And I'm like, all right, babe, let's do it. You know, but that's it. But even that is like once a month. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that I'm putting out every day. So, and I thought of that when you were just talking about, you know, just like, just creating that scarcity. Because, so when you do something, people are like, oh shit, you know, like there's a hunger for it. Cause yeah, that should be missing when you putting out content all the time.
I used to go home to Chicago from LA like once a month. And I miss Chicago. I love Chicago. Chicago's like my favorite city in the world. I mean, I like LA, but like Chicago's my heart, right? Yeah. But I was going back.
And you from there originally?
I'm from Chicago, yeah. Right? So, you know, I'm thinking in my mind that I'm out here writing for TV and doing all this stuff that when I go home, these shows are going to sell out every month. But this is when I was between shows, I needed money, so I would come back once a month. And the shows were not selling out. And even the last show I did recently did not sell out. And I thought about it. I was like, nigga, you here too much. It's like, and I talked to somebody. It was like, you still feel like you from, like you still live here. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't been home since September. And people ask me, like, am I going back? I might go back maybe like once or twice a year. But it's like, you got to make people miss you. And it's the same thing with the content. And no matter what you do, like, you just got to be very selective about what you giving and when you giving it to people. Shout out Chris Rock.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris Rock, man. Y'all did not watch that goddamn Marlon Wayne special.
I'm gonna check it out now.
So all y'all hosts, man, I was gonna ask y'all about this because I hosted a long time ago. I hosted twice out here. I hosted Crack 'em Up Thursdays back in the day, like maybe around 2009, I want to say. And I hosted Gary Morris, who was the first black cast member on SNL. He had a club, Downtown Comedy Club. So I hosted that around like 2014, 2013.
Uncle Junior.
Huh?
Uncle Junior.
Uncle Junior.
He was there?
Yeah, he was there every week. He was there. It was one time he would do it. So they would find different places and call it Downtown Comedy Club. So they would just find different venues. But no, he would be there because he would like close out the show. Or he would like, I'm trying to think it. No, I hosted, but he would like come up at the end and stuff like that. Me and Reggie Jr., they played Reggie Jr. It was me and Reggie Jr. Like I would host, like let's say I would host Friday, Reggie Jr. would host Saturday. And then it was like, Justin, can you do both nights? And then Reggie was like, man, fuck these niggas. But yeah, but he would be there. He would be there.
That's dope.
But how did y'all get into hosting and do y'all like hosting?
Well, I love hosting. I love hosting. I got into hosting through Flappers. That's where we met. Well, we met at the Chateau, but then we met again at Flappers. And so, I'm just the type of person when somebody tells me to do it, I'm gonna do it, right? And they were like, you need to do this. You need to come in and take this class or whatever. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I got it in me. And they started putting me on shows, and then they started being like, okay, like, you're good, and so let's put you on the main room. And then I did a main room show, and then it kept going into where it kind of started to where I really was able to kind of hone the craft of hosting. But I love hosting because it allows me to be free. I can just be myself when I'm hosting. I can just shoot. I can say whatever comes to mind. I don't have to focus on like, okay, I'm doing the set. It's 12 minutes. I need to do straight material. I need to flush this out. I need to work on this. And hosting, you just be free to kind of plug in and whatever. And I love the connecting with people part because I'm a people bitch. And
people bitch.
She for the street.
You know what I'm saying? Only paying customers. And so it's like being able to connect with the audience and think, off the top of the dome, like that is the true, like, for me, the fun that comes with comedy and where your true wit and true organic ability, comedic ability comes to play. Because you can't host and not be naturally funny.
Yeah, well, you can. You bomb your ass off.
Yes, but you won't be hosting for very long.
That's true. I love hosting, but like it makes me miss, because I mainly host, it makes me feel like kind of a one-trick pony. Sometimes I miss doing sets. Like, well, people see me host, like, I want you to host this show because I seen you do well with the crowd. But I like the thick of the show, like right after a comedian goes up, or if he does well, if he bombs, having to go off of that. I do like having to go off of that wittiness. But like the hosting for me, I feel like it's a bunch of mini sets. Like I get like a bunch of reps, like I'm at the gym. That's why I enjoy it.
What you think, Dave?
You are the most important thing of that show. Like even though you are not the most important thing, you're the most important thing in terms of like just the vibe for the evening. And I used to try to do sets as a host, and I learned very quickly that that's just not the move, because you only got so many jokes, and your job is not to be the star. You are there to like lube up the crowd, to make the crowd have a good time. So once you realize that the show is not about you, but it is about you, but it's not about you.
You got spit in that. You got spit in that butthole.
There you go, Justin.
Yeah, I'm just talking about lubrication.
Team,
you know what I'm saying? You got to put that grease in there.
But it's funny because you got to lose your ego. People always say to me like, "Man, you hosting or you doing it, or you performing for real?" It's like, nigga, it's both. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I'm the hosting does not mean that I'm not giving you my best comedically. It's just gonna be a improvised version of what that may be. And a lot of times that's more fun than doing a real set. When you can just talk to the crowd. Because I don't talk to the crowd doing my sets for real.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, I'm a reactionary comedian, so I mean, I don't seek crowd work.
But if it happens,
then I'm gonna say something.
Exactly.
Yeah, cause here's my issue with hosting. I like hosting, but I actually do prefer just doing my set. And this is why. I'm always, since I started doing stand up, is thinking like, what's gonna be my special? Like, what's gonna be the material that make sure that whenever I do a special, it's special. And it's not just something that was cool. That's one of my biggest fears, is that I put out a special and when people talk about it, they're like, oh, it was cool. Like, I want them to be like, yo, have you seen Justin shit? Mm-hmm. Like, that shit was fire. And if it don't accomplish that, then I'm gonna be like, so when it comes to doing stand up, that's always my thinking, why I'm always prefer doing a set, because I'm trying to craft whatever that material is going to be one day.
I want to write a book about that, honestly, like the psychology of comedy, because it's so much more than just the funny. And if you think about all great specials, when you think about the Eddie Murphy specials, when you think about the Kevin Hart specials, when you think about even Gerard's last special, there is something about the person that the audience is already drawn into before they even get there. You know, like there is some type of, even with Chris Rock's Bring the Pain, there was something about this person that made you give a fuck about them before any joke was told. And I think that's the hard part, is that, you know, if I give a great special, I feel like, if I'm being dead ass real right now, it's like, I've not done enough for people to be like, man, like, I really give a fuck about this special coming up right now. Mm-hmm. And that's the hard part about trying to line these things up, because people kind of already are excited for a good time before they even come to a Kevin Hart taping. Or Eddie Murphy was such a star at that point that, you know, did it have to be that great for it to be a classic? You know, like, he's just that on fire. Now, if his ass is gonna be ass,
right. You know, you make an interesting point. So, here's my thoughts on that. I feel like that's a great point. So, I was talking to Hassan Minaj, right? And y'all know who Hassan Minaj is?
Yeah.
Indian comedian, you know? Mm-hmm. No,
I think
he's the political show on Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
Patriot actor. He was on the Daily Show before that, and he actually just hosted the Daily Show for a whole week, about a week ago. But he hit me up one day and was like, Justin, why don't you put out like a special or something? And I said, yo, no one's checking for a Justin Hires special. Like, it just is what it is. Like, the streets aren't saying like, nigga, when Justin Hires special dropping? Like, it just is. I'm very self-aware. And he was
so you
like,
don't think it's important when people like a new fan or somebody's like, yo, I'll fuck with you. Where can I go watch more?
No, well, send it to him?
Well,
this is the point I was gonna get to. The point that he made was, Justin, people don't know you do stand up because they ain't seen your stand up. He was like, you got to start actually putting out your stand up to even garner a fan base.
That's not a special though.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But he was suggesting to do a special, and I was thinking, well, even him, he had already did the Daily Show. He had did the White House. I want to say he did the White House Correspondence.
Yeah.
So people had already started seeing him in a comedy, form before he put out his special Homecoming King. And so that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I want to put out a special, but I know nobody ain't checking for no special. And it goes to your point. I want to make sure when I put out a special, people are excited and they want to rush to see it.
I got a homeboy. His name is Dwayne Perkins.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne is from Chicago, started doing comedy way after. And when I first started seeing Dwayne do his comedy, it wasn't that great. It was like he was just starting. He literally just started, so I didn't expect it to be great. And now his confidence in terms of what he's doing, he's acting, his confidence has always been there, but now it's on 1,000,000. And when I tell you that this dude is a fucking star in terms of like how good he is on stage, and not only is he a star, but now that he's written a movie that's coming out, he's acting in the Upshaws, and I think he's also was a writer for the Correspondence Dinner, or he performed at the Correspondence Dinner as well. It's like now you have the same person with the same quote unquote material, but now guess what? people give a fuck. And now it's like this whole meal is now way more delicious because of the hype or the energy around it. It's a weird thing, man.
I was just saying that the other day. I was having a conversation with a comedian, and like you could say, like you could go to an open mic, right? With a comedian maybe been in the game like 3 years. They say the exact same joke, the exact same way as, you know, maybe a Deion Cole, a Chris Rock, a Kevin Hart, and it'd be like, you know, but when they say it, you know, obviously one, that's another level of comedic ability, but at the same, when they say it, it's like, shit, you know, and it's, you know, go back to Dave's point, when people fuck with you, they fuck with you. And you know, once you have your following, you have your base, like that's what it is. But it's, I don't know, it's interesting.
What do y'all think? It's so funny we got on this subject because I actually wrote this down as a question. Like, what do y'all think makes a star? So I heard 21 Savage. They was asking him like, why do you think, you know, you successful? Or he was like they was asking him like, what do you think make a star when it comes to rapper? And he was saying, you know, they gotta have, you know, this and that. But he was like, but then there's just like that it factor. Like some people just got an it factor and you can't explain it. It just is what it is. What y'all think? Y'all prescribe by that, or do you think your talent makes you the it factor?
I think there's different levels of stardom, but I think that like just the confidence, but confidence comes from like, you know, you putting in the work. You know that you're prepared for the opportunity. So like when you step out there, it shows, and that confidence breathes onto like the crowd or the audience watching, and yeah, it comes through.
I think it comes down to kind of like, he's getting deep now. Your soul connection, and then I'm telling you, like energy. Your energy, energy, yes, can be manipulated, but I think the people who have it, they have a different level of self-ownership and awareness and unapologetically showing up as themselves in any situation. And it's gotten to the point where not only do you know yourself, you also know how to rep yourself. And it's just your light shines. And so I think that's kind of it. Because, you know, when I you know, be in some spaces, right, and, you know, Dave Chappelle walks in, you can feel this nigga's energy. He could be sitting there in a jumpsuit smoking a cigarette, like, but you feel his
in your face,
energy.
Niggas. In your face.
Yes. You feel his energy. You feel his presence. Same with Tiffany Haddish. You feel the presence. And that's not just through the optics of stardom. That's, you feel a certain energy in people that have it. And
I think you hit that shit right on the head, Courtney.
Oh, thank you.
Like, no, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's it. Like, there is something that you connect with when you see a person that you're like, I am not that. You know what I'm saying? I am a civilian, and this person right here is a goddamn mutant.
Right.
They, like, whether it's Dave, and the thing about Dave that, and it could, maybe, I don't know if it's real or not, but it seems like he don't give a fuck, right? And it's this level of just unapologetic energy of I'm confident in who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. And whether or not you accept it, I am here. And I don't like that because I kind of feel like, let me clarify that. I'm saying that like I don't care on stage either. Like, I take my risk. My wife hates my comedy. She'd be like, why are you making jokes about this shit? Like, I was talking about my dick one day. She was like, why do you talk about your dick like that? She was like, if I was a man, I wouldn't want to hear no jokes about my dick. It's sad. And I'm just like, look, I explained it to me. Right? It's my dick. It's my comedy. Right.
That's a t-shirt. My dick, my comedy.
Right. And I just feel like what's interesting, though, is that it's more than just the ability to have that confidence. It's the ability to have that confidence and the audience for them to believe you. Like, it's like you're saying, I'm that guy. And they're saying, you are that guy. Right? Because I've had people tell me, man, that's a funny joke, but you can't say that joke. I said, why can't I say it? Because they're like, you're not that guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a Dave Chappelle joke. She's like, you're not Dave Chappelle. I'm like, God damn, nigga. But I felt what they were saying.
Yeah. Same joke, different message.
But don't you? So the audience wasn't receiving it, or were you getting the laugh? or you weren't getting a laugh?
This is just in conversation with somebody about a premise I had at a party, and he was like, "Man, you might kind of get canceled for some shit like that." You know what I'm saying? But I don't remember what the exact joke was.
Okay, let's tell it now.
But but I saw Dave.
Uh-huh.
I saw Dave in real life at the Comedy Store, and I said, "Hey, man, what do you think about people saying you're not famous enough to tell that joke?" And Dave was like, "Man, fuck that." You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was about to say, because I feel like the only way for you to get to Dave Chappelle level is to tell Dave Chappelle caliber jokes. So if somebody's saying like that's a Dave Chappelle joke, that's just them telling you that shit is brilliant.
I just feel like my bigger point was just that sometimes you believe who you are,
Right.
and saying like I am that guy, and then the world has to believe it. You know what I'm saying? It's like people in the NBA who can score. You know, what's the dude who just got traded to Brooklyn or from Phoenix? Malik Bridges. But I think he dropped like 35.
Mikal Bridges?
Mikal Bridges, right? And he dropped like 40 points the other day, and it's like, and he was like, but the crowd was like, we don't give a fuck. Like, like you're not KD. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just a whole level. Like I said, the psychology of all this stuff is really interesting to me.
My only pushback on that is, I don't know, man. I didn't see that particular game, but I remember the first time I saw Jordan Poole. He did one play. I had never seen him. Literally, I had never seen him. I was watching a Warriors game. He did one play. I said, this dude's a star. I'm not bullshitting, bro. And then that's when I started hearing everybody talk about Jordan Poole, Jordan Poole, Jordan Poole. So I sometimes feel like
that was your first time seeing this person. I'm saying, what if you have seen somebody just be mid, right? And then you see them as being mid, but then they start doing things that are not mid.
Jeremy Lin. I feel like I was watching him being mid, and all of a sudden this nigga, okay, he started doing well. Like, all right.
You didn't give a fuck, right?
No, I thought it was fire. I was like, this nigga killing it. I don't know. So I hear what you're saying, but I also feel like your talent can also help propel people to be like, damn, this dude. Like I think or your respect level go up for that person. Like it's some comedians that I've seen like do okay, and then I might see them like a year or two later, and they killing now, and I'm like, oh shit, all right.
You got to be selective, is all I'm trying to say, man. Like with your energy and your content, every time that you are doing something, it has to be amazing, because your reputation. That's one of the reasons why, like, if Dave kept coming out with like just shittier content specials, after a while you're not gonna give a fuck about what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you just got to be really intentional about everything that you do, every fucking thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then now I'm just fucking playing devil's advocate just for fuck's sake. I agree with that. And then I also believe you can't be afraid to fail either. Because if you are too fearful of failing, you may not take certain risks or chances within your artistry.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to literally live in especially as a comedian, right? Because we'll go up, we'll kill it, and then maybe, I said the exact same thing, and it's not being well received with this crowd. You have to completely leave whatever the fuck happened on that stage, maybe process to deal with, but living in fear, I mean, you'll never make it as a comedian. You never make it, because fear is negative energy, right? And that negative energy can bring your ass down. And if you are down, then you cannot, be able to shine, right? That gift, that light, you know what I'm saying? That it factor, it'll be completely dimmed. So you can't stay in those places. So you have to be able to manipulate the idea of fear into something that propels you into courage, into other things. And when you learn, I think, to not accept the concept of fear, but learn how to manipulate the idea of it, that's when you get into, you start two-stepping, you start making some moves.
You start dancing around the stage like Chris Rock was doing in that special.
You get to be that free.
Yeah, you get to be that free. That's freedom. That's what that was.
I love a good Euro step.
Yeah.
It's also about repetition, though. Like you can shoot shots, and but I watch Neil Brennan a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I'll see Neil might do the same set that he's working on and tweak very few things, but it's just like being in the gym. You know what I'm saying? So you can go out and take shots and be fearless, but you just got to put in the work too. And it's not just getting on stage one time and just being like, fuck it. Like you gotta, if you're gonna say fuck it this time, you gotta say fuck it the next time. And
you gotta say fuck it every time. I feel like I'm my funniest when I'm at my most fuck it.
Well, how many times will you try a joke before you're like, all right, I might throw this away?
Say that, yeah. Tilt the mic up. That's what I'm saying. yeah.
How many times will you, in that repetition, how many times will you try a bit or try a joke where you be like, all right, I might throw this away? Or you just keep trying?
Probably 2 to 3. 2 to 3.
3.
Yeah. Yeah, if it ain't working like 3 times, it struck out.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. You know, because I might try that at an open mic, and then I might try, let's see, at the Comedy Chateau or something. And if it's seeing like it don't got no legs, you know, because I got certain jokes, like every time, like a tag, or there's certain line that just never hit. And it's like, all right, I may think it's funny, but the audience don't think it's funny. So it's time to take that shit out and keep it moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I was looking around, I was like, y'all got people listen like, what the fuck just happened? I was looking at y'all like, y'all had something.
Nah, I was just thinking to myself like, this is real inside baseball right now. Just like, you know, with this comedy stuff. But this stuff can be applied outside of comedy too, in terms of just like how you present yourself to the world. And it's just so many parallels between stand up to anything you want to do, man. Mm-hmm. So you know how everybody wants to kind of like be a star right now, and with the whole social media thing, and so it's just so much content, and people are just trying to get on, et cetera, et cetera. And I was just thinking about how all of this shit just is the same.
That is a huge point, because I think that's why they kind of do. They have like stand up comedy, like, you know, team building, and stand up comedy confidence building. Your therapist might say, well, maybe if you have trouble meeting people, maybe you should do a stand up show to get out of your shell. You know, that's why they do that, because, and on the flip side of being in the position that we're at, people don't realize is that life trained you for this. You know. There's so much adversity, choosing to be, or putting yourself in, getting comfortable being uncomfortable in so many life situations that comedians have been through. At least, you know, I can definitely speak for myself. That has allowed me to set me up to be like, okay, this shit is rough. This is, you know, this is a lot, but guess what? I'm built for this, you know? And so the parallel between life lessons in comedy and the psychology and the approach to comedy, there's so many life parallels. So that's a great point.
Oh, go for it.
There's just a lot of info and books about how to. It's like literally a book called like How to Gain Friends and Influence People, or how to be the most likable person in the room. Like it's not just stand up. Like this is just the idea of being accepted. It's a very interesting thing that like. I mean, it just interests me in terms of what makes people give a fuck about people. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I liked all of y'all. That's why there was something unique about all of y'all, what I saw. Something about your spirit, funny, supportive as shit. And because of all of that, that's why I liked y'all. I was like, let me ask y'all to pull up. Hey, man, let me ask you, I had this question, man. I seen a comedian recently like pop on social media, and I was trying to figure out if it was because he or she was funny, or if they just had the algorithm on their side. How much of a factor do you feel like the algorithm now plays into a comedian's success, like the luck of the algorithm being on your side for people seeing your content and seeing you?
I mean, I think for social media, that's very important. Because if, you know, like I said, going back, you know, shoot, it's been 5 minutes. I really ain't got to like, all right, well, shoot, it's not today. That puts you in front of audiences that you have never been in front of before, right? So if you have access, right? So it's all about access, right? If there was no access for people to see you, nobody would give a fuck about content. So if someone has the ability to have access where someone doesn't have the ability to have access, then that can be make or break for a social media career. But no matter how many followers you have, if you post something funny, if your followers fuck with you, they fuck with you. And if it's funny, it's funny. So that shouldn't necessarily be like, derail or a judgment of should you be successful or should you not be successful. Just sometimes you have the luck of the draw of access and the algorithm providing that access on your side. But it is what it is.
I'm thankful for it because, I think there is a bit of a science to it. Even if I don't know it, I can look at the insights and see, when I'm doing well. And if I post around those times, people that may have never thought about coming to a show will be like, oh, I want to see you. That was funny. So I think it really helps me.
Yeah. What you thinking, Dave?
That's a good point, because I'm not a very social media heavy person, but that is truly something. And you said something earlier about talking to Hassan, that one thing that we have that I think that we should be doing as comedians is putting out clips with the
Captions.
The captions. Like that is something that. It's hard because you don't want to give out your material, too much, so you can't have a special because it's always being put out. But in the world of TikTok, and I'm telling you, that is just such a huge thing now. That is a way for you to still keep it real with yourself and not have to do quote unquote sketches and do things that are not necessarily. That's just not me. Yeah. Right. But it's a way for you to kind of, do both. And now the stories are so important because, if people just put their clip in their stories and, you got to be funny in that first 15 seconds to I don't know if that's the algorithm, quote unquote, but I don't know what the algorithm is, but it seems that things that are funny and things that get just shared by more people end up being shared more and more and more and more and more. So, it's just very important. I don't think it's random. I think that if it's good, it's gonna get eyes. If it's truly funny.
But I had just posted something the other day. How I posted the same clip on 4 different platforms. It got completely 4 different amount of views.
Was Twitter the worst?
I didn't post it on. I stopped posting videos on Twitter.
Ooh, Twitter's rough.
I never had a video hit on Twitter, so I just stopped posting on Twitter. So it was YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. On Facebook, it did 14 million views. Instagram, 18,000. YouTube Shorts, 2,000. TikTok, 400. So that let me know how important the algorithm is. And it fucked me up because it's you really can't always grasp what is funny. Because if I would have only posted it on TikTok, in my mind, I would have said, well, I guess it ain't funny. Only because I also posted it on Facebook and Instagram, and it hit like that I was like, well, I guess people do find it funny.
It means you got different audiences.
I do have different audiences. That is true. On Facebook, I'm garnering like a straight black audience. On TikTok, it's white. It's almost like Republican type audience almost. So, because I've had videos on TikTok where I'm talking about white women, and some of those have hit. And so they're like, oh, he's one of us, And so, I agree with that. So I'm sure that has something to do with it too. But I do know, I've heard artists say they've met with the people at TikTok, and they're like, we have a button we could press to open up your algorithm. We just want you to use our platform. So there are literally people like the Illuminati at these companies. If they find a content creator that they like, they could be like, all right, we like him. And they could hit something to make. It's the same way if you pay for an ad on a boost. Yeah. It's the same exact thing. Except they don't have to pay for it if they like you. They don't have to pay for the boost. You just get the boost.
Do you see on Twitter now you can also pay to be verified now?
I know, which is crazy.
It's like
Elon Musk doing that.
But they give you that incentive because they make it seem like if you pay for this, your post will be seen by more views now. I mean, by more people. You will get more views because you have bought this badge.
But you get clowned for it.
Yeah, people getting crushed.
They haven't taken my verification yet on Twitter. They haven't taken it off, but if they was to just say that. See, the way they're advertising it, this what I'm feeling. The way they're advertising is like, pay for your verification check. It's like, I don't need to pay for a verification check. It's like, you know, if you know me, you know me. If you don't, you don't. Fuck it. But if they were to say, if you pay for this, you're going to have better algorithm, I think a lot more people would be like, all right, maybe it might be worth to pay that $20 a month. If you're telling me way more people are going to see my shit, then yeah, I'll pay for that. I probably would pay for that. But if you just saying the verification check, it's like, nah. So if it is better algorithm that comes along with the verification check, like if that's a package deal, they need to say that shit. And
I
then
feel like they never say that.
Yeah, they never say that.
Because then everybody would be a sensation, you know, for $20 a month.
And that's what they don't want, because the reason they do them boosts, they're making money from that. That's ultimately what it's all about. Like they want you. That's how they make their money, from advertisements. So they're like, it's just like the same way companies pay for like Super Bowl commercials, right? So people see their shit. They want us to pay them. They want us to say, yo, we'll give you $50 if more people will see our content. And that's how they be racking up these sites. You know?
I boosted stuff when I do shows and put the hashtag. And I don't see shit from that. You know what I'm saying? But I've spent $50 a pop on so many events. So I truly do not understand how this shit works. So I just try to focus on the networks that I do know and the people that, because most of the time on Facebook you're sharing stuff with the same circle of people, you know. And
you have what type of Facebook? You got like just a regular friend page, or do you
I got a business page too?
Okay.
But you know, I guess I truly just haven't put the work in terms of focusing on the artist side, because if I'm being honest, I've been just focusing on writing, you know what I'm saying, on TV shit, which keeps me in the room, which I don't have time to be doing that a lot of time, or just my stand-up. And it's just like, well, you know, if somebody at the Comedy Store sees me and they like me, you know, they'll say, hey, I'll put you in a movie, and it'll be God's plan, as opposed to me being like the scientist, like, well, if I divide the
right.
the views by the likes, multiply it times 9, I will conquer the world. Like,
hey, I want to talk about that before we get out of here. Like, you writing, because you write on rap shit, right? You write on any other shows?
I have. The laugh tracks, I wrote all the scripts for the comedians.
Nice.
Rail on Fox with Lil Rail. Hood Adjacent with James Davis. That was my first writing job out here, man. So, Raven's Home, Disney Channel.
Yeah, shit, you're working.
Season 4, you know.
What have you learned the most about being in a writer's room? And, like, what's the most difficult thing also about being in a writer's room?
As a stand-up, it's difficult, man. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like we get so used to, you know, even on a podcast like this, you know, it's just 4 people talking, one at a time. Writer's room is very much like, boom, 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 boom. And you think that, you know, and on stage you're the funniest, and like I'm so funny, ha ha. But in the writer's room, they don't give a fuck about you being a stand-up. So, you know, and sometimes they'll tell you, like, that's not our show. Like, we're not trying to be that funny. Tone it down, you know. So, like, you know, you just gotta. It's a whole different ball game. So you just gotta realize that, and as a comedian, you are the show, and the writer's room, you are not the show.
That's some crazy duality to have, you know, that off and on switch.
Hell yeah.
But you got to learn it.
Yeah.
Because if not, you just end up being the asshole. They'll be like, oh, here come the comedian trying to steal the room. Like, it's like you just, it's almost like during the day I'm Bruce Wayne, but at night I'm Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up.
Like, for real.
Man, what y'all got, man? Anything coming up? Anything? Let us know. Let us know where people can find you at. If you got any projects, anything we should look out for?
So you can find me on all handles, Court_Haynes, CourtHaynes.com as well, under construction. Also working on a sketch pilot called Sketch School. So you know how that be. So hopefully, you know, you'll see that soon. Thank you.
You can follow me at Shawnee Mac Comedy. My animated series, Fitz, F-I-T-Z, is out streaming today on the Brick TV. Promo code Shawnee Mac to download it.
Where can we see that?
On the Brick TV, new black-owned streaming service. F-I-T-Z Fitz. You can download it. It's about clothes portrayed as the archetypes that they would normally be. So, you know, skinny pants, blue jeans, all that kind of stuff. Fun show. You can check out the trailer. F-I-T-Z on the Brick TV. That's it.
It's fire. I'm going to check that out, bro.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, This is Dave Helem. That's Dave Helem. I got an hour special on Amazon Prime called DJ the Chicago Kid. Check that out. Filmed that at the Rose Bowl during the pandemic. That was a cool experience.
You filmed it at the Rose Bowl?
At the Rose Bowl.
Who was there?
They was in cars.
Oh, they was in cars. I gotta check that shit out.
That's crazy. It's like it's just a timestamp of what it was. People like laughing through honks, and then some of the cars were mic'd up, so like you could hear the laughter, but you also heard a lot of honking going on too. But it came out pretty good.
This is a question I always had about Amazon before we get out of here. Do you license it? Like, are they almost like YouTube? Can anybody get their stuff on Amazon, or do they still have to select it?
It was through Comedy Dynamics.
Through Comedy Dynamics, gotcha.
So
you'd have to go through an aggregator, and it's got to meet like certain qualifications. But Amazon is one of the easier ones to get it on.
Gotcha. Okay, that's what's up, bro. That's fire. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Hey, man. Hey, and it's your man Justin Hires. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We drop it every week. 1 year anniversary coming up, man. That's fire, man. We feel good about this, man. And if you've been offended by anything that you heard today, just remember one thing. Fuck your feelings.